All right, the last social media platform we're going to talk about, the last new social media platform we're going to talk about in this course is Snapchat. Because where would we be if we didn't take a dive into Snapchat in a social media course? What is Snapchat? The official categorization is an image messaging and multimedia application used for social networking. The app was officially launched in September 2011, and in case you didn't know, the little ghost has a name. His name is Ghostface Chilla. So now you know that. Share that fun fact with your friends if you're ever on Jeopardy! So Snapchat, what it is a snap itself is a photo or a video that perishes after 10 seconds if you send it directly to your friend, or 24 hours if you post it in the My Story section of Snapchat. So a snap is 10 seconds or less, and today the media can be edited to include filters and captions and emojis and stickers, and we're going to talk about all of that when we get into how brands are using social media. But like I said, messages can be sent privately to an individual or to all of a person's followers at one time. Just to kind of show you how much Snapchat's grown since they first launched in late 2011. In 2012, worldwide, about 25 snaps were being sent per second. In May 2016, Snapchat released some new site statistics that showed 20,000 snaps were being sent every second. Snapchat is the newest social craze, especially among millennials, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But Snapchat is so big that Facebook reportedly offered the creators $3 billion to purchase the app. The creators turned it down. And they made the right decision because Yahoo Finance reported a couple months back that Snapchat's valued at about $20 billion right now, which is just incredible. And here's another fun trivia fact for you about Snapchat. It was created just by a group of college students designing an app for their class. And so they pitched this to their class and as part of a project. And that's kind of how it got started. So today's newest social media craze started in a college classroom. Everyone uses Snapchat. It seems like it just continues to grow in popularity. The app is actually targeted towards teenagers and young adults, and really millennials are the people using this app. Almost about 80%. The latest statistic released by Snapchat, about 80% of their users are under 34 years old, and a majority of those users are under 25 years old. So you can kind of see the latest age breakdown of Snapchat users. Almost all of them are in that millennial group there. Snapchat does lean toward a female audience. More females are using the app than males, and it is the most used social media platform in the 13 to 18 age group. And so why is this important for marketers to understand? Well, you're not going to reach any baby boomer. You're not going to reach the older generations. But if you have a product that is geared towards teenagers and young adults, you have to be on Snapchat just about. That's the most prominent social media platform used by this group of people. And one thing that's interesting, and I read an article a couple weeks back, as brands and news outlets begin to use the platform, the demographics continue to shift. And they're continuing to shift towards that older demographic and away from that younger demographic. It's starting to balance out a little bit more. That 35 to 54 age group you see on there, more people in that age group are joining the app as brands begin to use the app as well. So we'll kind of talk about why that is a little bit when we talk about Snapchat as a paid application in Module 6. But let's talk about it as a marketing tool. Obviously, it's a very popular site among teenagers and young adults, but why do marketers need to be on the site? In the last 12 months, Snapchat has gone from a simple photo sharing site to a marketing tool that just cannot be ignored, especially for those millennials. From an organic perspective, brands can set up Snapchat, that's a hard word to say over and over, Snapchat accounts just as easily as you and I can. It's a much simpler process than most other social media sites in terms of setting up a profile, because all you have to do is upload a logo into your little ghost figure, and there you go. You can start snapping. So Facebook and Twitter, even Instagram require some information, or you have to fill out a profile, which takes time. Snapchat doesn't take any time to join. The challenge with Snapchat, however, is figuring out how to engage followers and drive action. Even though Snapchat's been around since 2011, brands just started using the app in late 2014 and just really started using the app as a marketing tool in mid 2015. So we're still learning from a marketing perspective what Snapchat can do for us. And there are a lot of challenges to overcome. There's so many constraints. Snaps are short, right? So you have 10 seconds to convey a message. Snaps expire. If you have a snap in your story, it disappears after 24 hours. So it's not something that's going to be around for a long time. And snaps self-destruct. Whether it's after 10 seconds or 24 hours, they disappear. And so unlike other social networking platforms or traditional marketing platforms where customers can come back and look at the message later over and over again as many times as they want, as often as they want, you can't do that on Snapchat. So how do you make sure people see your snaps, and how do you make sure people engage with them in the moment? Snapchat requires marketers to be very creative. The app really is meant to capture moments in time, not plan promotional campaigns. And the good news is you don't necessarily have to plan out every single snap. The bad news is, as a brand, you have to be ready to capture a snap at any time based on what's happening in any given moment. Another reason that marketers should really jump on this Snapchat train is that studies show users are incredibly engaged in the content that they do see on this site. Users spend an average of 25 to 30 minutes on the app every day. And so if they are following your brand, they're likely to see your snaps. I actually posted an article called Snapchat Marketing, a beginner's guide, for you to do some further readings on ways that brands are using Snapchat to engage their customers. It's a great article, and it kind of just really gives you a very, very specific walkthrough of how brands are using this. But you can kind of see from this image here, all brands of all sizes and all industries are using this tool. Sprite and Netflix and American Airlines and Wall Street Journal, and Snapchat makes it very easy for people to follow each other or for brands. If you actually take a picture of any one of these 4 squares here and you open your Snapchat app, and you want to add a friend, you can add a friend just by uploading their picture of their Snap icon. It's coded so that you'll be following them to make it very easy to find brands you want to follow. So what types of content are brands using right now? First thing first, content for Snapchat should be super casual, and it's usually very comedic. It's a tone that's very easy to understand. Snapchat works really well for teasers since most messages are short and fleeting, which is what a teaser is. So it's great to give a preview of an upcoming product or event. So this is actually Taco Bell, their Bacon Club Chalupa. When they introduced this product, they did a Snapchat of the product launch. Contests. Snapchat works well for contests among consumers. For instance, brands will ask people to send in snaps, or brands will ask people to screenshot snaps so they can get people engaged and interacting with the actual content. Snapchat also works really well to give consumers a behind-the-scenes look at a company. Many companies have started letting their employees take over Snapchat to add new content from different perspectives. And this is actually some screenshots from the White House. They have a Snapchat account, which is really cool to follow if you're not already. But it kind of gives you an inside look at what's going on. And this was actually, I believe this was a day that Obama gave a speech, and I can't remember which one it is now that I'm talking about this photo. But the picture on the right is actually 2 members of Congress getting ready to go into the room to watch this speech, and the whole entire speech was shared through Snapchat. So pretty cool way that a brand, the White House and President Obama, are using Snapchat to deliver behind-the-scenes content for their followers. Offers and promotions. So brands really just recently, end of 2015 recently, started using Snapchat to offer deals and promotions to their customers. They allow customers to screenshot the snap and then use it in store or online. So you can see this progression of a snap story from this pizza joint. Stick around, you'll get 15% off. And then so you kind of have to watch the different pieces of the story. And then it tells you how to get 15% off your order using a code. And what is neat is that it's very easy to track how well these promotions did, especially if you require your customers to screenshot the promotion in order to get it, because you can actually see how many people screenshotted your photo on Snapchat, and then you can see how many redeemed the offer. So it's a great way to get people to, it's a great way to drive action through a social network. Providing access to live events is another great use of Snapchat by brands. You can give your audiences a direct connection to an event happening in the moment by sending snaps. So similar to that White House speech, right? We see a lot of companies who attend festivals, concerts, or who are hosting their own types of events, posting snaps throughout those events. If you follow Brooks Running, which is a running shoe company on Snapchat, they actually did snap stories of the Olympic track trials. So you could follow along with different pieces of different races from the Olympic trials, which is a really way to get customers an inside look at a cool live event. The options are truly endless, and new opportunities for brands keep arising literally every day on this social networking site. Millennials love to Snapchat, and companies really need to work to take advantage of that. So I want to know if any of you are following brands on Snapchats, and this doesn't count anything you see in your Discover categories or anything. We'll talk about those in Module 6, but what brands are you specifically following or connected with, and why? Why do you follow those brands? And the discussion board for Chapter 9, something great to talk about would be an example of a brand who's very successful at engaging their followers, maybe through behind the scenes or offers and promotions or whatever other techniques they're using to really engage with their followers. So as far as how often and when to post on Snapchat, we just don't really know. Very similar to Instagram, it's still really too early for many studies to have been conducted, so a lot of research is still being done. But what we do know is that weekends and late into the night seem to be great times to post on Snapchat. 70% of college students say that they use Snapchat the most on Friday and Saturday, and 81% of college students say that they use Snapchat the most during the late afternoon and into the night. So that's when you can be active on Snapchat, especially if you're posting new content to your brand story. Better to do it in the evenings when these millennials are checking the app. Some brands are incredibly active right now, keeping content posted for most of the day, and others just snap occasionally. And right now, what we've been able to kind of find out about Snapchat is that the rule of thumb should be to only post when you have something fun and interesting to say. It's perfectly acceptable for a brand to disappear from Snapchat for a day or two without losing any followers. That's not really the case on other social networking sites, but we have seen that on Snapchat. So just snap when you really have something interesting to share. And so that really wraps up our conversation on Snapchat. There's one last little PowerPoint that you need to watch for this module, and it's kind of just going to wrap up Module 5 and talk about what's coming up next.